Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 was an international passenger flight that disappeared from radar on the 8th of March 2014. The craziest theory is that MH370 was hijacked and flown to Pakistan in an operation conducted by the Taliban. The plane is currently being stored in some secret location waiting to be outfitted with explosives or even a nuclear weapon for future delivery against the United States or Israel. Business investor Rupert Murdoch tweeted that Flight 370 was not crashed but stolen and effectively hidden, perhaps in northern Pakistan, like bin Laden. This theory originates from a retired US Lieutenant General who suggested that the plane was heading towards Pakistan at the moment of its final satellite ping, telling Fox News, "If the Pakistani government does not talk soon, they're going to be complicit in this." But investigators would later rule out the Pakistan theory. At first, using the plane's satellite pings, they calculated that the plane had either headed on an arc northwards over the Asian landmass or south towards the empty Indian Ocean. But within weeks of the disappearance, they had ruled out the northern arc, concluding that the plane was somewhere in the southern Indian Ocean. On MH370 were 20 employees of the US technology company Freescale Semiconductor. Freescale creates powerful microchips for different sectors, including the defense industry. Conspiracy theorists speculate that they held important industrial secrets that the US government feared would fall into the hands of the Chinese authorities. As a result, the plane was hijacked or intercepted and taken to a US base on Diego Garcia. This theory does hold some weight, as 2 US Air Force AWACS planes were spotted in the area the night of the disappearance and could have apparently jammed all of MH370's communications, preventing it from revealing its position. The United States could then defend the presence of military aircraft under the guise of a military exercise that the US and Thai Air Force were conducting at the time. In an article published on the 18th of March 2014, a journalist wrote, "Several residents of Diego Garcia said that they saw a low-flying jumbo jet at around 6:15 on March 8th. They said it was a white aircraft with red stripes across it, which is what the Malaysia Airlines flights typically look like." They then said, "I have never seen a jet flying so low over our island before. We've seen seaplanes, but I'm sure that this was not one of those. I could even make out the doors on the plane clearly. It's not just me either. Several other residents have reported seeing the exact same thing. Some people got out of their houses to see what was causing the tremendous noise." This theory was later raised at a White House daily briefing on March 18th.
Some news reports saying that the missing flight could have landed in the US military base, Diego Garcia, in the center of Indian Ocean. Do you rule in that or rule out that?
I'll rule that one out.
Speculation arose that the passengers of MH370 were still alive but were incapable of answering their cell phones. This was based on early reports that family members of Flight 370's passengers heard ringing opposed to a busy or off sound while calling their loved ones. However, this was later challenged by a wireless analyst who, in an email to NBC News, explained that the network may still produce ringbacks as it searches for a connection, even in the event that the cell phone has been destroyed. The idea started from a thread on Reddit posted by a now suspended user. His first piece of evidence was simply that the plane had enough fuel to get to North Korea. His second piece of evidence? The North Koreans have hijacked a flight before, in 1969, so now, clearly, they are experts in this field and are capable of doing it again. But the slam dunk piece of evidence is that, and I quote, "The North Korean government is batshit crazy. There's no telling what crazy logic they might have for taking a plane. They literally have no grasp on reality and have been caught red-handed kidnapping foreigners, making shit up, and generally being douches." In 2023, a Twitter user by the name of Ashton Forbes claimed that a MQ-1C Predator drone, along with a low Earth satellite, captured the plane vanishing into a wormhole as a result of either some shady CIA operation or simply it was abducted by aliens. This theory suggests that the plane was accidentally shot down by US or Thai fighter jets in a live-fire military exercise that was being conducted in the South China Sea at the time of the plane's disappearance. This theory also claims that the subsequent search and rescue efforts were deliberately sent in the wrong direction as a part of a cover-up by US officials. On the 17th of July 2014, Malaysia Airlines Flight 17 was shot down by Russian-backed separatist forces over Ukraine. Both planes were Boeing 777s. This detail has led to some to believe that the planes were somehow swapped. Others point to the placement of the Malaysian flag on the fuselage of MH370, which was supposedly found in the wrong spot for that specific model. A pro-Russian rebel leader, Diego Garcia, claimed that the bodies had been dead for days before the plane had taken off, and that the passports were in pristine condition, speculating that they had actually been planted on the dead bodies. Therefore, according to some of these theorists, MH370 was hijacked, stored somewhere for 4 months, secretly made its way across Europe and into Amsterdam airports undetected, rigged with explosives, substituted with MH17, then blown up over Ukraine. In 2015, debris from a Boeing 777 washed up on Reunion Island, not too far from Diego Garcia, where a US base is located. It was later deemed highly likely to be from MH370. This quickly led to renewed internet speculation that the plane had been shot down by the US Air Force near Diego Garcia out of fears of a 2001 style terrorist attack after the plane strayed too close to the island. Realizing that the downing of a civilian plane would be complicated to justify, US officials deliberately sent the search and rescue teams in the wrong direction. Honorable mentions include Taken to Mars, a life insurance scam, time travel, cloaking technology, and a hijacking with a mobile phone, which Boeing adamantly denies. United States officials believe the most likely explanation to be that someone in the cockpit of Flight 370 reprogrammed the aircraft's autopilot to travel across the Indian Ocean, where it eventually exhausted its fuel supply and crashed into the ocean.